Hey, what's going on? My name is Dr. J. Duncan here with Unltd Media, bringing you a Mind Statement of the Week. And for this week, I'm going to be talking about 5 steps to help you go from idea to reality on whatever it is that you're choosing to do, whether that's a relationship, business, lifestyle, or achievement, whatever it may be. Let me break this down in 5 steps for you to be able to achieve your goal over any other barrier. So what's going on? Let's get down to business. Now, first and foremost, let's break down why you would even need these 5 steps to then achieve said goals. Well, as I talked about in the previous video, a lot of us have goals. A lot of us want to do something. Usually it's something new. The issue is that hurdles usually come and usually knock you back, and for a lot of people, they never get up from those hurdles. But there's another side to this. There are those, and I would also put myself included, that there are some internal things that hold us back, whether it be anxiety, whether it be impulsivity, right? Whether it be depression, whether it be the lack of validation from ourselves that we look forward from other people. You see, because sometimes those things, those invisible things, are the things that hold us back more so than us knowing the knowledge of how to do something. So I want to give you these 5 steps to battle against that and the things that are external. So step number 1, you need to first dream, first think. I know that sounds like, well, duh, but no, for real. A lot of people don't give themselves time, space, energy to dream, to think. A lot of times we get an idea and immediately the stigma, stereotypes, and things that we think we're going to hear from other people stop the idea from even fully manifesting in our mind. We don't even get to really dream, right? It's like waking up from a night where you knew you had a dream, but you can't even remember it because there's too many other things going on. And when you try to focus on it, things are blurry. That's the way things are with life when other noises are in your area. There's too many things going on. So what I want you to do is get in the practice, build the behavior of thinking, build the behavior of dreaming. A lot of your ideas are needed. The world needs you to continue to dream and think, right? But that doesn't solve the whole problem. That's only the first step. You see, with only the first step, though, if you only are a dreamer, then you just got a lot of ideas. We need to then manifest that. That's when we move on to step number 2. I need you to start speaking it. Yes. Think it first, dream it, and then start saying it out loud. If it doesn't make sense when you say it out loud, you still need to do some work. You still need to get the thoughts together, right? And once you're able to talk about it, talk to yourself, talk to God, talk to books that you're reading, whatever it may be, get your pitch in order to even be able to say what the dream was, right? So step 1, think it. Step 2, speak it. Step 3, which is very important, write it down. This is where we're going to get into strategic planning. You see, impulses are okay. If you're impulsive, I want to do, you have no problem dreaming. Sometimes you have no problem speaking, but the thing you do have problem is writing it down to see if it's something you really want. All right? So first, think it. Conceive it in your mind so you can visualize it. Then speak it. In other words, be able to explain it because you may need to develop a team to make it happen. So be able to explain it and then write it down. The purpose of writing it down is so that it becomes another visual into the physical world. And if you need to, you can be able to give it out to supporting parties to help you make that dream come true. That's the first business plan step, right? Think of yourself as you incorporated. So first, you came up with an idea. Second, you start speaking the idea. Then you start to make out a marketing or business plan of that idea, right? So after you're done with these 3 steps, you are ready to go on to the action, which is the last 2. That 4th step is to do what you wrote down. You see, writing it down is almost what the trick. It's like you created a contract. You need to follow through. You need to follow through. I'm going to say it one more time. You need to follow through on what you wrote down. Not what they wrote down, what anyone else is thinking, what you wrote down. Because ideally, if you follow these steps, It came from idea. It went to, let me speak it out loud. Oh yeah, that makes sense to me. You know what? Let me plan it out. Let me plan it out and write it down. You know what? It doesn't look right here when I wrote it down. There's some gaps in my equation. I need to go do some research to find out how to fill said gaps. Or I need to try this out to find out how to fill said gaps. Then let me do it. Step number 4. And then step number 5 is to step back and see the results and learn from it. Now, here's the trick. Just because I gave you a 5, I gave you these 5, does not mean that they happen in the same order every time. Or that just because you came from step 1 to step 2, that you have to go to step 3. You might have to go back to step 1. These are just the 5 principles. These 5 steps are in no particular order. For those that do hip-hop, it's like doing the 6th step. You don't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You learn those are 6 different fundamental steps that can be remixed that creates your own flavor, your own style. So I'm bring it back. You know, y'all know I do a little hip hop talk, but just to bring it back into fruition, here's the issue. People that struggle with internal judgment of self typically would skip out on some of these steps, right? Step number 1 comes natural to a person that might be impulsive, even to a person that might be depressed. We got ideas, but the issue is getting that idea to other people takes some energy that I might not have. So I might not be able to go directly to step 2. I might have to go to step 3 first and write it down, and then send it off, or write it down to see what it looks like, to the point to where I want it so bad I need this to happen, right? Just because I said speak it doesn't mean that it needed to come out verbally of your mouth. If you're not able to do it, you can write it down. Write it down to start doing research and let your research speak for you. You get it? Let the work start to speak for you. It needs to be spoken, but how it's spoken is a whole nother deal. It needs to be seen, but how it's come to fruition to be seen is not just with your eyes. Okay? I know we're getting a little deep. Remember these 5 steps. You need to think it. Let your mind think. Stop getting so programmed by all these external things telling you what to do and think, to where you lose the ability to think for yourself. Number 2, start speaking and have a conversation with self. If you need to have some alone time to talk your stuff out and say, hey, Dr. J, what do you want? Or you want to, for example, you want to start a new business venture? Do you want to do that for you? Or do you want to do that because it will be cool to do and other people will give you kudos and applause? See, sometimes you got to talk these things out with yourself. Then after you do that, you write the business plan down to first see if there's any gaps in your plan, or can you start the learning process now. Then you do it. Don't waver from your plan unless you're learning and developing as you go, and then sit back and learn from it. Because this, my friend, in the words of Nipsey Hussle, this is not a race. It is a marathon. In other words, you will have to pay your dues, aka learn from the process. You being able to say, oh, I got an idea, boom, I got a full-fledged business now. Now we out here, we're making money, we're making things roll. It could be like that, but oftentimes it's not. A lot of times you got a good idea, and then you're like, oh, shoot, I want to put this out there into the world. And guess what? A lot of people won't support you up front that you know. Why? Because it's not their vision. You got to make it plain enough and the idea be real enough to where other people can see it, feel it, touch it, smell it, hear it, whatever it may be. And then they might be able to jump on it. But you're going to have to keep rotating those 5 steps. Get what I'm saying? So that was a quick, short explanation of the 2. And I can give you an example in my life. Now, y'all see I'm wearing this shirt, Mind State. This is a part of our new brand, Mind State Apparel. Promoting perspective, promoting possibilities, and overcoming barriers. That is the mind state. You know what I mean? We put perspective in what we wear. Y'all like that? Cool. So, in other words, that was a good idea. This idea just wasn't birthed out of nowhere, right? I was like, yo, we're involved in merch already, but we want to promote the mind of the individual. Minds Unlimited is about the unlimited power of the mind. So how do we do this in clothing? How do we put perspective into what we wear? You see how this is going? Yo, that looks good. That's the motive. That's the energy. That's what we want to do. Then you bring it up to your partners. People start believing in the mission. Then it's okay, but how do we do this? Okay, well, there's all these options. There's drop shipping. There's create it yourself. There's buy it already done and store it, right? You do the research. That's that planning phase. After that, you do it. You start creating them. And guess what? Not all of them came out perfect the first time. What y'all see now? This right here, this logo, that just didn't happen. I just wasn't like, yo, mind state, here, boom, done. What? No. It took some trial and error, right? And I'm going to know that story, and so every time a logo comes out on one of these shirts, every time we make a sale, every time we do something, that feeling I have, they know that there's an excitement here that no one else gets because they weren't there during the mistakes, right? So I sit back and I learn from it, and we do it again. It doesn't matter if 1 million people see it and like it, or if one person, because these 5 steps were for me to push out to you, right? And those that know me know that this isn't the first time that I've come out with things. I've had multiple things that are going, consistently still going right now. And I use these 5 steps. So I say all that to say is that I'm not telling you anything that I haven't had to do myself. You do these 5, I guarantee you're going to be way further than you are allowing yourself to succumb to the excuses, allowing yourself to succumb to the doubt. Okay? Let's get over that. Do these 5 steps, then holla at me. All right? So that's your mind statement of the week. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, prayers, and or wishes, please contact me. As they say, like, subscribe, comment. I need you to do that too. Because the more likes I get, the more comments, I get to evolve. I get to learn, right? And the more subscribers, we get to build and grow. So, like I said, Mindset Apparel is one of the things that we got going on. Y'all can visit the Unltd.com, the website. I will be putting descriptions down below so that you can check out all things we got going, whether it be the mental health services, whether it be the podcast, whether it be the It's Possible page, whether it be now the Mind State Apparel. See, that new. Whether it be the Mind State Apparel. I want you guys to go check it out. Connect with me. If you got questions on these 5 steps, this isn't just a video to, hey, go do this. Bye, see ya. There's been people, you guys know, you've tested before. You've hit me up and said, hey, I needed help with 1, 2, and 3, or I needed more advice. And I either told you, hey, I got this over here to help you, or I will create something to help you. Okay? So, this is my statement of the week. My name is Dr. J. Duncan. As always, the smallest change in perspective can change a life.